Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and to some more buckshot testing, and today we've got a very highly requested combination to try out, and it's one that absolutely has the potential to be one of the top if not the best performing combos that we have tried. So I'm definitely excited to test it and see what this shell and choke combo can actually do. But for the shell I brought out here today, I got out some of these, the Winchester Double X buckshot loads. They are the 12 gauge 3-inch 12 pellet load of double-aught buck moving about 1,450 feet per second. And the last time we tested these through the stock full choke in the 1187, they were already right up there with some of the best performers. So through today's choke, they might just be top of the list if it actually works out together. Now these are a copper plated and buffered load, but they do not have a wad. So ultimately, we're just going to have to try it and see what happens through this combination. But as for the setup we've got to run them through today, I brought out the Remington 1187 with this choke, which is the Kicks Buck Kicker Full. This particular one measures out right at about a 693 construction and has easily been one of the top performing chokes with buckshot that we've tested so far, and typically does very well with plated and buffered loads like this one. And a lot of you guys really wanted to see us try it because you think it's really going to be super impressive, and I kind of agree with you. So we'll see what this buck kicker can actually do with these double X 12 pellet loads, because it should be pretty impressive in theory. But as for today's test, everything is set up the same as usual. I've got the big sheet of paper at 40 yards. I've got the chronograph so we can get our velocity, and I've got the templates that we can lay up over our results. So let's get you guys a view of this target, and we'll take the shot and see just what kind of a pattern we can get out of this combo. I'm betting it's going to be pretty good, but we don't know until we try it. So let's take the shot and see what it actually gives us. Alright, so that shell gave us 1289 through the chrono. The boss claim is 1450. However, from what I can remember, the last time we tested these shells, we had right about 1300. So yeah, we are below the box claim, but I don't think it's anything unusual based on what I have been seeing from these. And to be honest with you, they might be a little bit more consistent or a little bit better performers at that lower velocity as well. Might actually be helping them out a little bit. So I don't think there's anything too abnormal up here for them as far as velocity goes. But what kind of a pattern did they give us down at 40? Let's go check it out and see what we got. Alright, so now we're down here at our 40-yard paper, and this is what we got. Now, the white dot was my point of aim. The paper's 36 inches wide by about 44 inches tall, and we saw a pretty solid pattern here overall. And to be honest with you, it looks very, very similar to how it looked when we tested those through the stock full choke in that 1187. We had this same little vertical spread here in the middle with a couple of flyers over to the left. So definitely pretty interesting to see pretty much the same pattern. Now, overall here, we did have all 12 pellets on the paper, and the farthest 2 points across gave us an 18-inch spread at 40 yards. Now that is including the flyers over on the left. I did measure the main portion right here around that white dot, and that is a 15.5-inch spread. And I think those numbers are all pretty much within 1 or maybe 2 inches of what the stock full choke did. I mean, it is a very, very similar pattern. Now, yes, this is a very nice, very solid, extremely usable pattern all day long. But I was kind of expecting a little bit bigger of a difference here, or at least a little bit more of an improvement. Now, yes, that's absolutely me being a little bit picky here, because that is a very solid and usable pattern without a doubt. If we had those 3 flyers over on the left there in with the rest of them, that would be an extremely nice pattern. So yeah, I am being a little bit picky about it, but I did expect a little bit of a difference. So it is a little bit surprising, although it's still a very nice pattern once again. So the blank sheet of paper looks pretty decent, except those couple flyers over on the left. But let's throw some actual templates up and see how it would look in some more real life type of scenarios. Alright, so we'll start here with our 10-inch circle, and if we line it up with where our core of our pattern was, we would have had 5 out of the 12 pellets in a 10-inch circle at 40 yards. So by the numbers alone, it's definitely nothing groundbreaking or super impressive, but considering that the vast majority of the rest of our pellets are behind the template, then we know we have a pretty condensed overall pattern, except for those couple flyers over on the left. So 10-inch circle, nothing super outstanding or impressive, but let's move over to the animal templates, which I think will give us a much better picture of how these actually performed in some hunting scenarios. All right, so here's our deer template, and like I suspected, tells us a much better story here. As you can see, we have the vast majority of the load right through the heart and lungs area there. So yeah, that deer is not going to go very far, if anywhere at all, on you. Now, those few flyers did hit him, but they were a little bit farther back. But I don't think it really mattered when you have the rest of them right through the lungs there. So very clearly, a dead deer here all day long. That's going to absolutely put the hammer down on him without a doubt. So definitely a very solid pattern for a deer hunt, but let's throw up the hog template as well for those of you down south or west that might want to hunt hogs with this combination, and we'll take a look and see what that looks like as well. And here's that hog template, and it's pretty well the same story. Very dead hog all day long. So overall here, I guess my thoughts on this pattern are me being a little bit nitpicky. That is a very nice pattern. There's no question about that. I'll take that all day long for a deer hunt. Do I wish those couple flyers were a little bit tighter up with the main core of our pattern? Yeah, sure. But a 15.5-inch spread of 9 pellets of double up buck right through the middle area there is going to be devastating. Now, if I'm being picky again, was I hoping for a little bit better? Yeah, I was. But still, that's not a pattern that we have a whole lot of room to complain about. And now I definitely want to try these through the Black Mamba 690 choke as well that I've got, because that might be the one that really lights these up and makes a huge difference. But as for this combination, it is a plenty usable pattern, but it is almost identical to a stock full choke as well. And I would have thought we would have seen a little bit bigger of a difference between the two chokes. But that's why you test things, because you never know what's going to perform and what's not. All right, y'all. Well, what did you think about that pattern right there? It's definitely a very nice and plenty usable enough deer hunting pattern, or whatever you would want to use it for. I feel like I'm kind of downplaying it a little bit because I am being a little nitpicky about it. I just expected a little bit larger of a difference and a little bit more of an improvement over just the stock full choke. But to my surprise, that's not what we saw today. So now I'm definitely curious to test it through some other chokes and see what we can get. And if we can find one, maybe that Pattern Master Black Mamba, that can really bring these out even a little bit nicer than that, because clearly there's some very nice performance shells, but I think we still got room to tune them in a little bit better than that as well. But I guess let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Is that about what you expected to see? Were you a little surprised one way or the other? Have you tested any of the Winchester Double X 12 pellet shells? And if so, what kind of results have you seen from them? And is there another choke or setup combo that you might want to see us test these through? Let me know all that down below. But with that being said, I've got some more testing to get done for you guys, so I'm going to get back to it. As always, we've got the channel Instagram as well as the mailbox where you can send stuff if you'd like. All that information will be in the description if you're interested in it, but I'm going to get back to it, so I'll see y'all in the next one.